What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another 5-year rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Today, we're going to be doing a 5-year rebuild with the defending champion Golden State Warriors. This is a team with a roster of a ton of talent, both old and new. This is a team whose roster is kind of built for both the now and the future. I think that's a good thing and a bad thing because we're obviously going to hopefully be contenders all 5 years, but it's also going to put us in some tough spots, whether we're trading older players who've really done a lot for this franchise or we're going with the young guys. Some tough decisions are going to be made, but this is going to be a fun rebuild today. We'll get into this one in just a sec. I'll give you guys all my thoughts on this roster, but before we do, we are less than 30 subscribers away at this point from 30K. So if you have not yet, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel. That 30K is going to be unbelievable for both myself and this community who has helped me grow to this point, and I greatly appreciate you guys each and every individual day. Of course, if you guys do have any other video ideas, let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to leave them down there. You guys have been seeming to enjoy the 5-year rebuild, so that's why I've been kind of grinding on these lately. I'm typically a 3-year rebuild guy. A lot of you guys do seem to enjoy the 5 years, so that's why we've been doing them so much. So if you guys want to continue to do the, or continue to see me do them, make sure to let me know by leaving a like down below. Without further ado, man, let's hop in, see if we can get a Warriors, another championship. Let's go over this Warriors roster, who, as I mentioned, the old talent is there, and there's also a lot of young talent here. The way I'm going to go about this rotation for the first season is going to be hopefully a somewhat accurate representation of what I believe the Warriors lineup will look like. So we're not going to be starting guys like Jordan Poole or Jonathan Kaminga. Would I probably get a little bit more out of them in developmental terms if I went ahead and started them? Probably, but we're going to give a final hurrah, if you will, to the guys like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green before we do end up moving on from them because, again, 5-year rebuild, they're going to be way too old to be on this squad. So Steph Curry, top 2-point guard in NBA history, whether you want him 1 or 2. I'm not getting into it, but he's an unbelievably talented first ballot Hall of Famer, changed the game of basketball completely. 99% going to be here the entire video unless some crazy regression thing hits, but it typically doesn't hit too bad. Jordan Poole, who, he's here, and he's developed quite nicely. He could be a guy that I'm not sure if this team ends up paying. I think they definitely could, or he could anyways, go ahead and get a super big offer from another team in free agency once he does hit it. And I'm not sure if the Warriors are going to be able to match it. They're really going to have to pick and choose on who they really want to focus all their money on. But Jordan Poole, my plan today is to go ahead and have him for the remainder of the rebuild. He typically turns out to be an absolute stud, more of a stud than he already is. So excited to have him here. You got Klay Thompson, who's obviously had some injury problems, some injury history, if you will, is down to an 80 overall, top 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to call him. Shooter in NBA history at one point in his career, was definitely a great defensive player as well. A couple injuries later, maybe not quite the defensive player, but still a very serviceable player in real life. That being said, in the game, 80 overall, don't really love it. They signed Donte DiVincenzo to a 2-year deal this offseason. I actually don't mind that as a replacement for Gary Payton II. Gary Payton II actually got paid, I think, a decent amount from the Portland Trailblazers. Donte DiVincenzo actually ended up being a little bit cheaper. I don't mind the option there. Who would I prefer on this team? I think Gary Payton kind of proved himself a little bit more, so I'd maybe prefer him, but DiVincenzo, not a bad backup for Klay Thompson, but let's be honest with each other. Neither of these guys are going to be starting for us for the full 5 years. We got Andrew Wiggins, who had a hell of a playoff run, and especially a hell of a finals, because he outplayed Jason Tatum for the most part. And it hurts me to say that as the diehard Celtics fan, but being completely honest, I think we all kind of know it. And, I know Tatum was hurt, but Andrew Wiggins had a hell of a performance. I'm happy to see him flourishing somewhere. Former #1 overall pick back in 2014, correct? Yes, he was. Hasn't really found his right spot yet. I think the Golden State Warriors are kind of working out for him, and I'm happy to see him playing well. You got Moses Moody here as well, and then Patrick Baldwin Jr., who they drafted with the 28th pick in the 2022 draft. I'm going to send him to the G League. I just think having Moody and Wiggins, we don't really need to have Baldwin in the rotation. I believe he's a little bit more of a project as well, so he could be somebody that develops down there a little bit, eventually hops up into the rotation. You got Jonathan Kaminga, who progresses into an absolute stud. This dude ends up averaging like 20 points a game. I've tried to trade for him all the time. I'm happy I have him here today in a rebuild. Only 20 years old. Super excited to see where his development can take me. You got Draymond Green, who's, he's Draymond. He's one of those love-hate kind of things. If you kind of love him and you kind of love watching his antics if, your team's not playing against him. And then, when he's playing against you, it's not so fun, especially when he's having one of his good games. But that being said, I know the funny the funny, jokes are out there about, Mr. Triple Single, whatever you really want to call him. But Draymond Green, at the end of the day, is a first ballot Hall of Famer, a defensive player of the year. And the Warriors would not have won all those championships without him. So you can poke fun at the guy as much as you want. I'm going to probably have him here for maybe one more season, then we'll move on from him. He is still going to start just because I think I'm trying to get the most accurate representation of what this Warriors lineup will look like, and I'm assuming Draymond will probably be in it next year. On top of that, they signed JaMychal Green this offseason. I'm assuming he's kind of the Otto Porter Jr. replacement, but probably really won't find a spot in my rotation, if I'm being honest. Could be a good depth piece for them in real life. James Wiseman, who unfortunately has been an injured player, and it sucks to say, former number 2 overall pick back in the 2020 draft. The potential is 100% there. I'm actually going to start him, and the reason I'm starting him is because I don't think Kevon Looney is somebody that's really going to make too much of an impact in today's video. I think Clay and Dre's impact will be a little bit more felt than Looney. And honestly, if Wiseman's healthy at the start of next season, who knows? They very well could start him anyways. They also did re-sign Kevon Looney this offseason. He had a hell of a playoff performance, hell of a finals performance against my Celtics as well. So he deserves all that money, but I am still going to be starting James Wiseman. That being said, this is a very talented team. Probably pretty close to the Western Conference, top of the West, for kind of being title favorites for next year, but let's see if that can happen in 2K. I'll see you guys in the rotation before the start of year number 1. There shouldn't really be any major surprises in this starting 5 here. I've kind of went over how I wanted to do this, at least for the first season. It's going to go as follows: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman. I think this is a lineup that should put us hopefully close at least to the top of the West. That being said, I know typically Klay Thompson doesn't put up the best numbers. He's probably not going to do that. Look, I'm not expecting prime Klay from 15, 16, 17, but you know, I think I honestly could still use him in some sort of role. That being said, he's also making a lot of money. But I love Klay Thompson, man. He's honestly one of my favorite players to watch. I mean, his game is just something we've really never seen before. Jordan Poole, going to be the 6th man. Again, it maybe hinders his development a little bit. A lot of you guys might say, why don't you just start him at the shooting guard spot? And although I did think of that, I think I do want to give Klay kind of one final season, as I kind of mentioned a couple times. You can make the same argument for Kaminga. Very, very good bench here we got in Golden State. Followed by DiVincenzo, we got Kevon Looney, and then Moses Moody as well. So really, really good bench. That's not always something I can say I can start out with, and having that kind of, I don't know, a little step ahead already with that bench that's honestly not bad at all, kind of gives me a little bit of an extra edge when we do finish out the 5 years. So that being said, we should hopefully be title, contenders at least right now. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can, I guess technically go back to back. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1 here in Golden State. Year 1 is officially complete. We are number 3 seed here in the Western Conference. We're also number 3 in the power rankings. I believe the Warriors were actually a 3 seed when they won their championship last season. Luka Doncic, MVP. Surprise, surprise, I know. Let me guess. Holmgren, Trae Young. Well, I didn't really guess on that one, but it was either Young or Simmons. Giannis. Claxton? Nope. Jared Vanderbilt and probably Willie Green. Yep, 62 and 20 for the New Orleans Pelicans. I just saw a comment that kind of made me crack up the other day in my most recent video. I did a 5-year Clippers rebuild, and somebody said you should literally just delete the Zion file just from every single time you do a 5-year rebuild, which made me chuckle a little bit. It would have been funny if I did that. Steph leads us in points. No surprise there. Klay Thompson, not a bad season. I will take that. Around 17 points, 4 boards, 2.5 assists. 44% from the field. Let's check out Steph and Klay's 3-point percentage. That is just a thing of beauty. You honestly love to see it. You got Jordan Poole, James Wiseman, 16 and 10. Beautiful. Center of the future. Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kaminga, the cum bucket. Dante DiVincenzo, Moses Moody, Draymond Green. 8 assists is actually crazy good. But I don't know why. It's not funny. It is funny, but it's not. I don't really know how else to describe it. Draymond Green is a hell of a basketball player, but I don't know why. I just laugh sometimes when I see his numbers. But, I can't really laugh because he was a key piece to the, Warriors beating my Celtics. So I guess that he got the last laugh. Let's take a look at the Clippers starting 5. Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris Sr., Zubats. Got Powell off the bench, Frank Kaminsky, Luke Kennard, Amir Coffey. So, they're a good team. I think the Clippers actually might be favorites in the West right now. That being said, we're up 3-0 and 4-0 as we quickly end up sweeping them. D'Lo, Jalen Noel, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns. This bench is dog shit. That's pretty much always the downfall of the Timberwolves when I do see them in the playoffs in the first year. But they are ahead of us. They're a 2 seed. So let's see if we can upset them. I feel like upset really wouldn't be the right word, but we win in 5 nonetheless. And here comes the real matchup. Here comes the real challenge as how is Jalen Brunson in New Orleans? Oh, good. Oh, giddy. That's exactly what they needed. An already stacked team adding Jalen Brunson. Yeah, here we go. Let's see if Draymond can kind of contain Zion, if you will. We're down 2-1 right now. We're down 3-1. We're battling back. We're going to a Game 7, and we get eliminated in Game 7. It is the Hawks and the Pelicans in the finals in the first season. This is not an I don't want to use the word unrealistic, but not a crazy matchup compared to what we typically see in the first season of these 5-year rebuilds. Hawks go on to win the finals. Trae Young, coming off the bench, wins a Sixth Man of the Year and then a Finals MVP. Interesting combination, but that's 2K for you. Let's hit the draft lottery right now. I do not believe we'll have any picks in this, at least to my knowledge. Thunder looks like they're potentially having two top 3 picks, and then number 6 as well via Denver. And Lakers are looks like they weren't too good, so the Pelicans will probably have a high pick as well. It's going to be the Magic, Jazz, Knicks, Wizards, and Spurs. So actually not one top pick for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They actually have it at number 12. Interesting. You're projected. I mean, I know there's probably protections on all those picks because they weren't their own, but interesting. Steve Kerr, definitely not going anywhere. First ballot Hall of Fame head coach. I have no reason to move on from him. Number 27 overall pick. I will draft somebody there. I will not use my second round pick. I'll trade that for 2 future seconds. And we'll see who is available for us here. The depth on this team's already crazy good, so I don't really know what we necessarily kind of need. But I think maybe potentially a backup guard, because I don't know if DiVincenzo is going to accept that player option. Who knows what's going to happen with Clay. And then obviously we do have a guy like Jordan Poole who maybe could find his way into the starting lineup. So Amari Bailey kind of feels like the right option here. 6'5" out of UCLA. There's also Chris Livingston is here, 6'7" out of Kentucky. I wouldn't mind either of these guys. They're both 19 years old. Both overall is technically a C, at least according to kind of our prospect, scouting program, whatever you kind of want to call it here. But what I will do, just because I know somebody's going to have a problem if I pick the wrong person, I'll look up a 2023 mock draft, because I'm not going to pretend to know which one of these guys is currently projected higher, and then I'll be back and I'll take whichever one is the higher pick. Funny enough, the mock draft I'm looking at actually has them going back-to-back at 20 and 21. I'll redo their kind of, their scouting reports, if you will. For Livingston, it's a high-level athlete with great quickness, explosiveness, above-the-rim ability, and a competitive demeanor. And for Amari Bailey, it's a do-it-all combo guard with an extra gear of athleticism, has scoring talent, and does it within the flow of the offense. I don't really know which one I'd prefer, honestly. I kind of like the height of Livingston, if I'm being honest with you. That wingspan at 7'3" as well. Kind of crazy. So, you know what? I'll pull the trigger here on Chris Livingston. Let me know in the comment section if you think that was the right pick. He's going to be a 74 overall, so definitely a guy that could potentially get minutes in year number 1. I'm going to bring back everybody here. Again, not a realistic rebuild. DiVincenzo does decline. Draymond, shocker, I know, accepts that player option. Obviously, Kaminga and Wiseman will be coming back. So now comes the point where Jordan Poole is a free agent. He's somebody I definitely need to pay, and definitely somebody that I'm not just going to let walk from this team. Along with that, we do have Andrew Wiggins, and then Dante DiVincenzo is somebody I'm probably going to maybe either re-sign and then trade, or just straight up just move on from. But Andrew Wiggins only wants around $19 million a year. Kind of a steal, for being honest. DiVincenzo's looking for around 12. Honestly, could be somebody I include in a trade. So you know what? I'll go ahead and I'll bring him back. I don't necessarily think I need him or that I kind of want to keep him, but I'll test the waters a little bit. We're going to pretty much renounce the rights here on Michael Green. I'm going to wait on Jordan Poole to give him a real contract unless he is here getting one in the moratorium period. But other than that, we're kind of all set. Poole does have 6 offers now, so I will just kind of max him out for now. And then I'll bring him back kind of after this just so we can give him a real contract. So Wiggins and DiVincenzo officially coming back. Jordan Poole has 8 offers now. The only kind of real one that maybe he'd consider is the 3-year, $75 million one from the Rockets. That's around $25 million a year. Actually, kind of a lot of money. So I'll give him around 20. Wait. Never mind. It is time to make a trade because I cannot just let Jordan Poole go. So maybe paying DiVincenzo was not smart. Maybe I should have given the qualifying offer here. Well, I'm also trading like Klay Thompson, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. So let's make some trades officially. Dante DiVincenzo is going to go ahead and get me 2 first-round picks here from the Orlando Magic. This 2024 one being top 10 protected. They actually end up being pretty much I don't want to say like contender, but they're typically in the playoffs, and they just drafted Victor Wembanyama first overall. So this pick probably really won't have a ton of value in next year's draft. It's also top 10 protected, so it'll be unprotected in 2025. But DiVincenzo is definitely kind of holding up some money here. We can now match Jordan Poole, which is kind of only the main reason I'm doing that. I did look for trades for Klay Thompson. There really wasn't anything I was kind of finding that I kind of liked. So I think the way I'm going to kind of go about this is I'm going to kind of let Klay ride out. It's the final year of this deal, correct? The final year of his contract, and then ultimately just move on from him because I didn't find any deal that I really loved. Nothing that would benefit the team immediately. I'm definitely not trading like a guy like Moses Moody. I really don't even want to move on from Kevon Looney. So this was maybe the one I would consider, and it's not even a good deal in the slightest. So I'm really not liking any of these, and I'm definitely not trading for a felon. So I think other than that, we're just going to let Klay ride it out in his final year. He's not going to be in the starting 5, but I don't mind him necessarily riding out his career in kind of hanging it up maybe at the end of the season. But we'll see what happens with him. He will not be on this team past the season. What is going to happen, though, is I'm going to move Jordan Poole to the shooting guard spot. He's going to go ahead and be the backup here. The starting shooting guard. Clay will be his backup. And then I'll probably try to find some sort of backup point guard. If not, maybe there's some rotations where Poole can just kind of be the point guard with Steph getting a little bit of time on the bench. But it unfortunately means Chris Livingston's probably not going to get a ton of playing time here in this first season. But, I think Clay I kind of respect Clay enough to let him go ahead, finish his career here. At least with us for now. So that being said, I don't necessarily plan on making a ton of changes to this team. I think Draymond Green's a guy who I could move on from, maybe get a little bit of value. So let's maybe explore a trade for him. Again, it's kind of similar to Klay Thompson. Maybe it's kind of the best of both worlds. Maybe I'm not maxing out on the value that I maybe could get for these guys if there is any value there. But they're also probably not going to be getting any better, and I'm kind of losing them for nothing if they do both end up leaving. So I'm not really loving any of these trades, though, I'm being honest for you. I think it's just one of those things we're going to kind of have to bite our tongue and kind of let it happen. So that being said, I actually don't really mind the way this team looks right now. I'm going to officially, as I mentioned, give the reins to Jordan Poole now. Wiggins is still here. We just re-signed him. Honestly, not on too bad of a contract. I don't know what I'm going to do with Baldwin and whoever this is. Ryan Rollins. I'm going to actually see if I can get some picks for them. I just don't even need these guys. So, especially Santos and Rollins, if I can just, a first-round pick from anybody is honestly fine by me because they're definitely not cracking the rotation. And these picks could eventually maybe be in some sort of trade. The Utah Jazz, it's a Minnesota pick, actually. Can I have the Jazz pick? Oh, they don't have their picks. That sucks. Is there actually anyone a little bit more valuable? Anybody offering me a pick that's a slightly more value, like the Spurs? It's in a Hawks pick. I always get so excited when I see teams that are bad actually end up trading me picks that could be decent. The Rockets and the Pistons maybe are bad right now, but they actually end up turning into really good teams. I'll take the Orlando pick. I mean, you never really know. It's probably not going to be too good, but we'll see. So that being said, this is kind of how the rotation is going to look. It is going to be a 9-man rotation, so Steph will maybe get a few more minutes at the age of 35. I'll see you guys at the start of year number 2. It is a 9-man rotation for Steve Kerr and the rest of the Warriors here for the second season. Here's how it's going to look. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kaminga, and James Wiseman. So we replace Klay Thompson and Draymond Green with Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kaminga. These are just guys that I got to give starting minutes to at this point. If I'm being honest with you, I would have liked to have seen if Klay Thompson and Draymond Green didn't regress as hard. Maybe I can kind of make the case to have them start one more year. I just don't think we're at that point right now. Moses Moody, Klay Thompson, Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, and Chris Livingston is here. Unfortunately, I don't really see a way to get him many minutes right now. I really don't need a third shooting guard. I mean, maybe I could have him maybe play some backup point guard minutes or something like that, but I just don't really feel like it's necessary right now. I'd rather get more minutes to the starters. Also, this just kind of hit me off the top of my head. Warriors fans, here kind of comes the problem. I don't want to say problem, but Klay's obviously not going to regress as hard. He's not going to be this bad, but that's where it's maybe not a problem. But making $43 million in the same offseason when you're going to have to pay guys like Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, I mean, what do you do at that point? Because I really don't think you can afford all of them. Which, I mean, maybe they can go way past the luxury tax. I just don't know when you're hard capped officially. So I think somebody's going to have to go. I'm not sure how it's going to work, but let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. That being said, we obviously made it work here. This is a video game, but I'll see you guys at the end of year number 2. Hopefully we can win a championship. Second straight season of Luka Doncic winning the MVP. Finally gets the triple-double MVP. That's typically my threshold for him winning MVPs. If it's not a triple-double, I don't really count it because he wins MVP pretty much every year. Second in the Western Conference, is also number 2 in the power rankings. Pretty close to title favorite. Scoot Henderson, Rookie of the Year, is in Utah. Trae Young, you can ignore that. Giannis Depoy. Jonathan Kaminga, most improved. As I mentioned, the dude turns into an absolute stud, and I'm very, very happy to kind of put him into that starting rotation. Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. All right, let's take a look at the playoffs and the standings. Surprise, surprise, the Pelicans are the 1 seed. And the Golden State Warriors, that would being us, 52-30, good enough for the 2 seed. The Hawks won 61 games, my lord. Steph led us in scoring, really no surprises there. Kaminga takes over that number 2 scoring role. Jordan Poole with a much improved season as well. James Wiseman still doing his thing at that starting center spot. Super happy to have him, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Moses Moody, Kevon Looney, Draymond, Satoransky, and TJ Leaf as well on this team. Wiseman leads us in boards and Steph with the assists. So let's in the plan, see who we got here. It's going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. Not exactly the team I was hoping to play. This is a very young and talented team. That being said, that bench really didn't look too good. So we're down 3-0. And we just got swept by a play-in team. It is time for the offseason officially. That's not the way I wanted to go out in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wow. Anthony Edwards is a stud. He's an absolute stud. It is time for the offseason. Let's take a look at the draft lottery. Do we have anything here? Probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. It's going. Oh, good. The Pelicans exactly what they needed, number 1 pick. I honestly might not, question you guys by saying maybe delete Zion out of the game. No, I would never, but it'd just be funny. We're up to the draft. We do have the 18th overall pick. We might have a trade or two. I decided we're just going to draft somebody with the number 18 pick. Thinking about it, maybe a new backup shooting guard. Not shooting guard, excuse me. Maybe potentially a new backup power forward with Draymond Green now being gone. I meant to send my pick. So, there are options for us here. Let's see who is available for us here with that 18th overall pick. A guy like Stewart maybe could fill that role out of Duke, 19 years old. We got Mikey Williams here as well. I maybe could draft a backup point guard. I just don't really feel like I need a backup point guard. Robert Dillingham here as well, 6'3" out of Kentucky, is a C+ overall, 19 years old. I think I'm going to draft for fit. I think fit's a much better, kind of way to draft when you're a team that's as good as us here. So I don't necessarily think best player available is a, really big need. And whoever we draft backing up Steph would really only be playing 10 minutes a night. So Stewart's going to be my pick. It says he's a 74 overall. Let's see if that's actually an accurate representation. Actually, 75 overall. So getting a good young piece here to back up Jonathan Kaminga with Draymond Green now being gone. Jonathan Kaminga's coming back. Mosey's coming back. I'll bring back Patrick Baldwin Jr., who I really just haven't been able to find a way to kind of get him into the rotation. So James Wiseman is a free agent. Now that Draymond and Clay are gone, we definitely should have maybe a little bit of cap space. Clay and Draymond, we obviously do have bird rights on. They've been here forever. You got to love the cuts, don't you? I'm sorry. I love getting interrupted in my basement. We went ahead and we're going to renounce the rights here on Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. We're going to wait on James Wiseman to give him a real full contract after the moratorium period. It's just funny seeing a $64 million cap hold here on Klay Thompson and a $41 million cap hold on Draymond Green. So we'll wait. I'm assuming that James Wiseman probably will not be getting any sort of contract until after moratorium anyway. So Clay and Draymond, thank you for your time. Thank you for your service. Unfortunately, we're going to move on. So I'm going to give James Wiseman a full 5-year contract. He's going to be coming back. We obviously cleared up a little bit of cap space when we did end up, kind of moving on from Clay and Draymond, but we didn't really have enough money to kind of go out and maybe make a home run deal. So it's a new look team. Jordan Poole, maybe not a new look team, but a new look rotation. Livingston's officially going to be backing up Jordan Poole. We got Wiggins and Moody here. I might just trade Patrick Baldwin Jr. I don't really see a way that I move on from either of these guys, one, and maybe if I do move on from one of them, I don't think Patrick Baldwin Jr. is really good enough to kind of get into this rotation. So I'm probably just going to trade him. If I can get a first-round pick, I'll probably do it. Let's see the options here that I have for that. But, other than that, it's probably not going to be really anything of value just because, again, I think this is a Team Indiana pick. Honestly, it is in 2028, but maybe it'll have some value by the end of this video, by the 4th offseason, so we will see. So it's going to be a 9-man rotation again. I'm very comfortable with this team. I mean, we got a bunch of guys who are a whole lot younger in the starting 5 now. We also got a whole lot younger off the bench. I'll see you guys at the rotation at the start of year 3. Here's what the rotation will look like for the 3rd season here in Golden State. The big moves we made this offseason, we're kind of moving on from 2 Hall of Famers from this team. So Klay Thompson, Draymond Green now gone. They have replacements. Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kaminga, and James Wiseman, the starting 5 here for the 3rd season. The bench unit's okay. Moses Moody, Kevon Looney, Chris Livingston, and Sean Stewart. So 2 guys that we just drafted in back-to-back drafts, both very young and, definitely still raw prospects, but they're going to be taking over some of the backup minutes on the bench. This is a team that still should be contenders. I would expect to be towards the top of the West. Let's see what happens here at the end of the 3rd season. It is a 3rd straight season of MVPs for Luka Doncic. Come on, give me somebody else. We are a 1 seed here. Love to see it, honestly. Maybe dethrone the Pelicans for now anyways. Who knows what will happen in the playoffs. But also number 1 in the power rankings. Xavier Booker went number 1 overall. Exactly what the Pelicans needed because they didn't have enough talent. So it's good. Give them a number 1 overall pick. Brickleberry Simmons, 6th man of the year in Brooklyn. Giannis Depoy. Terquavion Smith. I'm sorry, I have not heard of him, but wins most improved player for the Phoenix Suns. Nate McMillan, coach of the year at 56 and 26. I'm assuming that's probably a better record than what we had. We went 55 and 27. I will take that. And oh, baby, what's happening to the Pelicans? Uh-oh. Yeah, we're probably still going to have to face them at some point. They're probably just a completely different animal in the playoffs. Steph Curry at age 37, doing everything for us, is an absolute stud on a 2-year, $115 million contract. That's crazy. Jonathan Kaminga continuing to step up his game, kind of becoming our clear-cut number 2 option. James Wiseman, absolute monster. Around 19 and 11. I will take that. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Moses Moody, Chris Livingston, Sean Stewart. So really impressive seasons from Stewart and Livingston. Kevon Looney down there as well. I got Seth Curry on this team. That's funny. Making Steph happy, I'm assuming. All right, so let's see what we got here in the first round. Going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Ousmane Dieng, Ron Holland, Chet Holmgren. This is a very good, very young team. Marvin Bagley found a new home. He's in Detroit currently, I believe, correct? We're 1-1 with them. That Thunder team is very young. But I still think we're probably the better team. We're up 3-2 right now. We do end up winning in 6. Moving on to the Sacramento Kings, who are in the playoffs. Colin Sexton found a new home. He's paired with De'Aaron Fox, Jarris Walker, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Davion Mitchell, Isaiah Stewart, Terrence Davis, Isaiah Roby. Not a team that's maybe necessarily favorites, but I still think they definitely have something cooking up there in Sacramento. And please don't blow a 3-0 lead. Are we really going to do this right now? Oh, no, we don't. All right, we're in the West Finals, facing the team that beat us last year. This was a play-in team last year, which I really didn't think they were a play-in team. I thought they were a lot better. That being said, hopefully we can kind of flip the script this year and maybe beat them, because I'd like a little bit of revenge. I really would. That being said, we start out down 3-0, and that's probably all she wrote, and we get swept by the Grizzlies for the second straight year, and the Atlanta Hawks go on to win their second championship of this video, and Trae Young gets his second Finals MVP at the age of 26. So it might be time for a move or two. Please tell me Steph didn't retire. Oh, that would have sucked. Thank God he did not. It might be time for a move or two. Again, I'm not sure necessarily what the move is going to be, but we would have. Oh, that Denver pick's protected, isn't it, though? It definitely is. Yeah, it was protected number 4, which means we actually might have Denver's unprotected pick next year. Is that what that transitions into? Denver pick is unprotected next year. So 2026 pick from the Nuggets could be, I don't know. I don't really think they're a team that's not good. So, I don't necessarily think that pick will probably be top 5 again, but maybe in the lottery, you never know. Steve Kerr's coming back. There's no reason for me to move on from him. He's a very talented head coach and very good at what he does, and I like him a lot. So let's see if we do have any picks in this year's draft. We do have 25 and 29. I think we're kind of at a point where if I'm going to use picks, it's probably going to be in a matter of a trade. I don't really think we need to draft anybody else. There's already a lot of young talent on this team. The bench is kind of set for the most part. The only thing I can maybe think of is maybe getting a replacement backup center, but I'm still very comfortable with Kevon Looney. So we actually might kind of make a big trade right now. Might not be the most popular one, but I kind of do have something in mind. So the unfortunate thing about having so much young talent on the team is that they all have team options. So I really couldn't include any of them in the trade. That being said, I really didn't want to trade a guy like Sean Stewart or Chris Livingston, who both just played very well for us. So, if I'm being honest with you, Andrew Wiggins is kind of the guy I'm looking to move. He, isn't a bad player at all. I think he's kind of the odd man out in the starting 5. And, in order to win a championship, I think we kind of need to make an upgrade at one starting 5 position. I don't think Poole's a problem. Wiseman's definitely not a problem, and Kaminga's our second leading scorer. So, that being said, it kind of does come down to Wiggins. I just really don't have the ability to kind of make the trade right now. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to trade these 2 picks we do have this year, maybe just a future pick from a team. Like the Grizzlies are good, the Hawks are good. The Heat somehow sometimes end up sucking. So could I maybe take, they really suck this year. Who has your 2026 pick? I don't know, but can I do an unprotected pick in 2027? And how about I throw you, I actually do have a lot of first. How about I just throw you a couple seconds? Actually I only have one more second. Damn. I'll throw you a first in 2029 as well. They agree to that. So that pick, it might be valuable in 2 years, or it might have some trade value. That being said, I really didn't need the picks this year. So let's hit team player options now. It is Chris Livingston coming back. Other than that, guys like Kaminga and Moody are both free agents, and they are definitely both guys that I do want to bring back. Definitely not guys I can really afford to let go. Kevon Looney, also a free agent. So what I think I'm going to do about this is hope and pray that I kind of have the cap space to re-sign both of them. I honestly could be at the point right now where I could maybe give Moses Moody even a start at the small forward spot. I don't know, though. I feel like I might be best off going ahead and kind of maybe combining him with Wiggins even, and kind of getting a serious upgrade at the small forward spot, because, Livingston and what's his name? I forget. Sean something, whoever his name is, I forget. Have kind of been developing as key pieces out of the bench for us. So maybe I could afford to maybe trade Moses Moody. So I'm actually going to give him his restricted qualifying offer. I know it has a no trade clause. Reason I am doing that is because it's going to allow me to go ahead and include him in a trade and kind of match up with some of the bigger contracts, Wiggins is already making $20+ million. If I'm giving $20+ million to Moses Moody as well, it's going to be $40 million, kind of harder to match with one of the max contracts that should be around $30 million a year. So that's what I'm doing with Moses Moody. You can still typically trade these guys, even though they do have no trade clauses. Typically does not really turn into a problem. We're going to double check here and just make sure Kaminga does not have any sort of offer as well. And final day of checking that, he does not. We're going to bring back Moody and Kevon Looney. And now I'm going to pay Jonathan Kaminga, get him back on this team, and then, we're going to go ahead and make a trade. I'm sorry, Warriors fans, if you like those two players, but I'm kind of in, a predicament right now of I just don't know if we're quite good enough to win a championship. So let's hopefully go and solidify that case with a trade. This might not be the best trade in the world, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but RJ Barrett has been progressing quite nicely. He's coming off a year of 21 points, 5 boards, almost 4 assists. He's a really good player at this point. I would definitely probably take him over Andrew Wiggins. Moody's not maybe the guy I necessarily want to throw into this deal, but if we look at the way this roster is constructed, I don't really have any other options. I'm going to go ahead. Maybe I can throw in like a Kevon Looney, but I don't know. I'll throw in Looney. See if we can get this to work out. We do have a decent amount of picks next year. I will give you my pick just because we're going to be good. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this deal done. I think this is potentially a trade that can kind of put us over the top. Maybe not one I want to make, and it's going to cost a lot no matter what it is. I'll give you this Heat pick in 2020, second round pick. Wow, we got it done. That's actually kind of crazy. That being said, we do have to worry because RJ Barrett's a free agent next season, and we are paying a lot of guys a lot of money. He's probably going to decline that option, and I also just gave Moses Moody the qualifying offer. So might come back and bite us in the ass a little bit. I do need to find a new backup center, but hopefully this is kind of the year that we can maybe go out and win a championship. Maybe we can lose a guy or two next offseason and maybe not have to worry about it as much. Montrezl Harrell can come in. Not the best backup big, but, we lose Kevon Looney. Trez is going to go ahead and take those 12 minutes a night, whatever it is. But we should be in a spot now to hopefully be favorites out of the West. I'll see you guys at the start of the 4th season. This might be a somewhat weird-looking rotation for all of you. I'm playing Steph 38 minutes a night at the age of 37, and then I'm playing everybody else 34 minutes. I think it's kind of going to work out. These guys are all relatively the similar overalls. I think talent-wise, it makes sense to kind of play them all 34 minutes. The bench unit, Moses Moody, I did not trade him. He will be an unrestricted free agent who we do have bird rights on this upcoming offseason. I'm going to have to decide basically between him or RJ Barrett. It's obviously going to be RJ Barrett 10 times out of 10. Hopefully we have enough money to get them both back. Chris Livingston is, again, progressing really well. Him and Sean Stewart both. And then Montrezl Harrell down here as well. So we're in a good spot right now. Again, I think we should be kind of title favorites, hopefully. But who knows what happens. Let's hope the Grizzlies don't continue to own us. I'll see you guys at the end of year 4 here in Golden State. We finally get a new MVP here at the end of year 4. Luka Doncic's reign is over. LaMelo Ball, new guy in town, first career MVP. Second straight year of us being the 1 seed here in the West. Hopefully a little bit of a different result this year. Jerry Easter, the second-year rookie of the year, is in Toronto. Ben Simmons, still 6th man of the year. Found a new home in Detroit. Giannis, oh God, he always signs with the Blazers and always tortures me when I do Western Conference rebuilds. I'm probably going to have to deal with him and the Blazers, aren't I? Nick Smith, most improved San Antonio Spurs. Steve Kerr, coach of the year. We go 62-20. If I can, well, there's a lot of different things I'd like to say to the 2K developers before 2K23 comes out. But I wouldn't say towards the top of the list, but just a little nitpicky thing. Steve Kerr has been doing this same pose for I don't even know how long anymore. It's been in the game, I think, since 2K16. Change the dude's pose. He's aged 6 years at this point. Update it, 2K, for the love of God. All right, let's take a look at the standings. We were 6 games up on the Pelicans, who, again, probably going to continue to be a thorn in my side. Steph Curry no longer leading us in scoring. He is 38 years old now. Not really too surprised by that. Kaminga, RJ Barrett, Wiseman, Poole, Moses Moody, Livingston. Here's a fun proposition for you, and this is where I almost wish I was streaming this just to ask chat or something. But if we don't win a championship, I'll do or don't. It doesn't really matter. And Steph retires, should I override that? I don't know. That being said, we have a really annoying team to play in the first round. The team that has now swept us 2 years in a row in the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's see if we can get a little bit of revenge. We go up 2-1 here in the first 3 games. We go up 3-1. We close them out in 5. That takes a lot of pressure off of us, a little bit of stress off the shoulders. Houston's not really a bad team, though. Nikola Vucevic, always the guy who ends up in Houston. Weird thing, but it always does happen. We win game 1 against Houston. We win game 2 against Houston, and when we sweep the Houston Rockets on their own floor, we do. And here comes a real challenge. Kylan Boswell, Dyson Daniels, Cameron Whitmore, Zion Williamson, Xavier Booker. What is this? Number 7 overall pick. Number 1 overall pick, Daniels, they already drafted. Number 12 overall pick. And they have Onyeka Okongwu on the bench. Gary Trent Jr., Trey Johnson. what pick was he? 9th overall pick. I mean, these are just all the Lakers picks that are kind of benefiting the New Orleans Pelicans tremendously. And, who knows how many years in a row. I mean, and who knows what's going to happen with LeBron retires. I mean, you never know what's going to happen with those picks. And, wow, if fate's real, because couldn't even get away from the Cavs and Warriors finals that happened for so many years in a row. Garland, Okoro, Keon Johnson, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. They got Mikey Williams, Cody Williams, Javon Carter. So really not too good of a bench. Their starting five is very, very good, especially their front court, and then honestly their back court as well, and then Keon Johnson's in there. So this team definitely scares me. And we're down 2-0 here in year one, or excuse me, oh my God, in year 4, we're down 3-1 now. Not exactly ideal. We lose in 5. Wow. We might have met our match, and did Steph retire? He did not. Wow, Steph wants to continue to run it back. That's kind of crazy. I wasn't going to move on from him anyways. That being said, we're paying the man $60 million, so it makes me a little bit nervous. Oh, no, good. The Pelicans have yet another number 1 overall pick. That most likely coming from the Drew Holiday trade. That's absolutely insane. That is absolutely insane. I don't really know what to change on this team. I mean, this team is immensely talented. Shit. Do I have picks? I have the 24th. Yeah, so that Denver Nuggets kind of pick was kind of a one-off of them kind of sucking, so I'll just take a first-round pick from the 76ers. Yeah, it was definitely a one-off of them having a top 5 pick. That sucks. I'm now nervous, and Jordan Poole's a free. We're not going to have enough money for all these guys. Steph Curry's making how much money? $60 million? There's just no possible. And Steph's a free agent. Never mind. He declined his option. All right, so I definitely have real money, though. Do I possibly dare to do it? No, because I can't bring back Steph then. Oh my God. I mean, I'm going to offer him a contract. I mean, there's no possible way for me to re-sign both or sign Steph Curry with Zion, is there? Steph also has 8 offers and 2 of them are real. Oh, God damn it. That sucks. Kaminga's been so good too. I just think if this is a deal that we make, I feel like we're instantly title favorites. And Zion's a monster, dude. There's really no arguing that. Look at him. He's in the peak of his career at 26 years old. I feel like Warriors fans would absolutely execute me, though, if I didn't do this. Let me just see, is there any way, if I was to re-sign Steph Curry, what are these offers? Oh, my God, the Timberwolves are giving him $38 million. That's absolutely nuts. There's no way I can get both of them, is there? Yeah, we have $8 million in cap space right now, and that's with renouncing everybody and re-signing Steph Curry. So if I want to get Zion, it basically means I have to trade everybody here. If I want Zion and Steph Curry. And, I really don't think it's worth it, if I'm being honest with you. I really don't. Just because we do have to renounce everybody if we do that. So, and that being said, I also don't even know if we are even able to go out and get these guys because, we did renounce them all. So hopefully they didn't all sign contracts in free agency. I'm just going to bring back Steph. I think it's worth having Steph, Poole, and potentially Barrett. Moody's going to probably have to go, but over Zion Williamson I do. So Steph's welcome back to the squad. Please tell me these guys didn't sign somewhere else. They did not. So RJ Barrett does have one offer right now, it being from the Lakers, not even a real offer. So I will pay RJ. And I'm going to pay Poole as well. These are my 2 priorities, obviously. And then I'll wait on Moses Moody. I probably will not have money to even get him back. Fortunately enough, the game's going to let me re-sign all those guys. And wow, it's going to let me bring back Moses Moody as well. So it was basically Zion Williamson or all 4 of these guys right here. And, when it kind of came down to it, I think I'm going to take the 4 guys. It would have been really fun to sign Zion, though. And that maybe could have helped this team, or definitely would have helped. But, it maybe would have changed some things about this team, but I don't know if it would have changed enough. I don't really even know what to do. Do I maybe move on from Jordan Poole? He hasn't even been playing bad, but do I maybe look for an upgrade? I might consider it. I just think this team needs to put something else to put us over the edge. I mean, Steph's also 38 at this point, but if I were to throw up Jordan Poole and I'll do this Heat pick and this Magic pick, I'm probably not going to find a trade offer that I really love. I really don't. Oh, my dog's barking. I don't know, man. I really don't. Do I like Josh Giddey more? I mean, he's definitely more of a ball facilitator, I think. But no, I'm just going to run it back, I think. So we're gonna give it another year. I think we built a really fun team, and hopefully this works. I will replace Montrezl Harrell. All right, my dog's going crazy. Give me a second. We're going to sign Karis LeVert and then throw him in a trade with Montrezl Harrell, and then hopefully that will kind of make it maybe get us a real upgrade at the backup center spot. I mean, I'm not even saying that we really need to upgrade the backup center spot that bad. It really doesn't, change much, but who is Khalil Ware? He actually looks to be pretty good. So I might pull the trigger, and that will also get Eric Pascal back, who just really won't be in the rotation. Or I could get Kevon Looney back, but I think it's probably time to move on. We're going to take Khalil Ware. I hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Do I even need Pascal? I do. I don't really need Eric Pascal, but I'll keep him on the team. He won't be in the rotation. And I'll see you guys at the start of the 5th and final season. 5th and final season is here. We decided not to sign Zion Williamson, even though he did want to sign with us. We decided to bring back the core of this team. I'm happy with it. I think this is a better looking team than if we just signed Zion. That being said, it would have been really fun. But Steph Curry at the age of 38, definitely continuing to regress. That being said, he really doesn't regress too much. I mean, what does he start out the video at? A 96? Only down to a 93. Jordan Poole, who really doesn't progress a lot. Kind of sucks. RJ Barrett, Jonathan Kaminga, and James Wiseman. Benjamin Moses Moody, Chris Livingston, Khalil Ware, and Sean Stewart. So this is the squad we're going with. I'm excited, and hopefully we can get a championship in today's video. See you guys at the end of the 5th and final year. I believe this is now the 3rd straight season of us being a 1 seed here in the West. LaMelo Ball, 2nd straight MVP. I mean, it's championship or bust. It really is at this point. Marcus Johnson, Rookie of the Year for the Lakers. Usman Garuba, 6th Man of the Year. Finally not Ben Simmons. Isaac Depoy, finally not Giannis. Jalen Duren, Most Improved for the Detroit Pistons. We went 72-10. Holy shit. It looks like some guys elevated their game. And I'm very happy with this right now. I really am. 14 games ahead of the Sacramento Kings at the 2-seed spot. I'm excited, man. I really am. I'm really hoping this can be a championship team. I mean, the talent is 100% here. It just all kind of depends how we play in the playoffs. And, we've gotten really close. I mean, we were in the finals last year, and it just didn't work out. So let's see if it can happen this year. Oh, Giddey. I can't get away from him. I really can't. I mean, it's got to be a curse. Like the fact that I didn't sign him, and now I get to play him in the first round. He's in Minnesota. We are up 3-1, though, and we close them out in 5. San Antonio Spurs here in round 2. Very young team. Caleb Foster, Nick Smith, Anthony Black, P.J. Washington, Vita Zubats, Nasir Cunningham, Patrick Williams. Holy depth. I think that's an all 82-plus overall lineup, and we're down 2-0. We're down 3-0. God damn it, bro. I thought we did a good job with this rebuild. I thought this was a fun team, but if I can't make a championship contender out of this team, I don't really know. So maybe I've lost my edge a little bit, but I mean, I don't really know what else to do with this team. I really don't. But, maybe I should have signed Zion. Hindsight's 20/20. But let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Yeah, I'm pretty much going to call this one and call it a night because this video kind of annoyed me. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.